Hi everyone. Today we are joined by KOHA Islamic Digital. Fresh off their win from the MIFC Global Impact Challenge crowned during the Global Islamic Finance Forum 2025. KOHA is reframing inheritance, not as an end of wealth, but as the most meaningful moment. Rooted in Islamic principles of Hibah and Wasiat, KOHA enables digital legacy planning that combines faith, family, and fintech. Today, we are joined by Peter, co-founder of KOHA Islamic Digital, and Ruslina, their strategic advisor. Peter, why don't you introduce yourself to our viewers at home first?
Thank you, Nas. Thank you, MIFC Global Impact Challenge. My name is Peter. I'm the co-founder for KOHA Islamic Digital. So my experience is that I have more than 15 years in wealth advisory and also 10 years in technology.
And Ruslina?
Hi, my name is Ruslina Ramli. I'm the strategic advisor for KOHA Islamic Digital. I have close to 20 plus experience in Islamic finance and Islamic fintech, and we hope to make a difference in contributing to Malaysia's growth for inheritance planning.
Great. And Peter, let's start off this conversation. How did your personal experience shape your conviction around ethical inheritance?
Okay, inheritance is not the end of wealth. It is the most meaningful moment. It's the point where values, faith, and family come together. Now, for me, is that legacy is not just about distributing assets, but about preserving harmony, honoring Shariah, and ensuring that what we leave behind continues to do good. That's the heart of KOHA Islamic Digital, making ethical wealth transfer accessible, transparent, and compassionate in this digital age.
Right. And Ruslina, since you've had a very storied career in innovation, what role do you see fintech, such as KOHA, right, in restoring this dignity in the wealth transfer?
I think the great thing about KOHA Islamic Digital is that they've evolved to not only to look at wealth preservation or wealth tech. We are also into health tech as well as legal tech. So there's a 3-in-1 problem statements that we try to inculcate in the inheritance planning dashboards that we do in support of making that difference and contributing to an equitable society that transfers or distributes wealth equally between who your loved ones are.
Right, right. And Peter, what inspired you to create KOHA?
Oh, okay. So what happened is that I have lots of my friends. So some of them that when their family, their father especially passed away, the next thing I know is that the brothers, the siblings all go into court, hire their own lawyer and fight for the estate.
Right.
That's very sad part of it. So KOHA Islamic Digital was established is looking at solving this 100 billion ringgit frozen assets.
Yes.
That's what we do. And we wanted to first hand on this unplanned estate, whereby you can tear the family apart.
Right.
You see? So even the modest estate can create dispute where there is no clarity. This experience shaped my conviction that inheritance should never be a source of conflict. In fact, it should be a source of peace. Preserve family harmony. This is what KOHA Islamic Digital is all about.
Yeah, if I could further add. So being part of the MIFC Impact Challenge helps solidify the values that we want to co-create together. So because of the Maqasid Sharia agenda that MIFC tries to propagate, we align that back to the needs of what is required within our ecosystem in support of that. So the alignment of, faith, hadith, and also sharing, giving, it's part of what makes KOHA the essence in support of addressing this 100 billion frozen asset.
Right. And for the benefit of our viewers at home that might not have full context, why does this happen now, and how does KOHA fix it?
So at KOHA, we see this inheritance as a legal process.
Right.
And beside that, it's also a spiritual duty. On the legal side, we work hand in hand with trustees, lawyers, and to ensure every document is enforceable. On the spiritual side, we embed this Faraid, Wasiat, Hibah, and also this Harta Sepencaran and Wakaf directly into platform. Families don't have to choose between legality and spirituality. KOHA unites both. And also in this MIFC Global Impact Challenge, the organizer actually invite lots of speakers, share with us all the necessary Shariah compliance and all this. We really learned a lot. And our Shariah advisor also play a very critical role. They guided us, they audit us, and ensure that compliance is not afterthought part of the system of DNA. That's how we preserve both the letter of the law and also the spirit of faith.
Right. Yeah, and it's a big complex challenge that you're solving, right? So I think for the benefit of the viewers also who might have a lot of misconceptions about Islamic inheritance or even giving as a concept, what's one of the biggest misconceptions that you've heard about, or what do you hope to change in terms of those misconceptions?
I think for me personally, it's about, so it's a cycle, right? So when you're first starting to work, you are in the mode of building your wealth, right?
Right.
And developing it to a stage where you are sustainable in being able to cover your own debts over time, right? But along the way, as you grow, sometimes there is a gap that you didn't realize that you didn't close. So through the financial screening calculator or analysis that KOHA actually provides, gives you an insight to how your spending is and where you are in terms of not only your disposable income, but also the insurance or Takaful coverage that you have.
Right.
So if you are in a surplus, then Alhamdulillah, you can move to the next level in terms of creating your inheritance planning, because that's where the distribution comes in.
Right.
But as you're growing, that takes a while, right? And as you develop your own financial independence and eventual freedom, it allows you to also understand how do you get to that level where you are able to secure all your debts. So if anything happens to you, there would be insurance and takaful to actually be redeployed in support of those servicings and not leave your family behind. A classic example is your house insured?
Right.
And you'll be surprised that, some of the customers don't even know that you can actually take insurance, right? So being able to ensure that if anything happens to your family and you pass away, that house then goes to your loved ones and not the bank that then takes over the security of the asset that you've been created. Yeah.
Right. So indirectly, this strengthens community ties or familial ties. How else do you think that your fintech would be strengthening that element of society?
Yes. So like what Roslina was mentioning, that what we do is basically in 30 minutes time, we know the person wealth, whether net worth is a positive or negative. And most of the time that at this current moment, everyone is just practicing writing a document. So we do more than that. We do is sort of like when a person write a wasiat, or so on. What we do is that we will look at the person's 30 minutes time, we will know the net worth. In this case, that we will mention to them that how do you as a wealth creator, how would you want to protect your wealth, preserve your wealth, just like a wealth pyramid, and then accumulate your wealth, and then come to our part here is wealth distribution. And for the Muslim, we have one more is the wealth purification, whereby zakat, Baitulmal, Sedekah, and Wakaf is come in as well. So basically, in short, KOHA, is actually doing all this, whole using the wealth pyramid.
Right. Cool. So I'm going to segue into the experience you've had in the MIFC Global Impact Challenge. It was a 3-week accelerator, intense, right? 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. every single day, 9 p.m. plus. Culminating in a demo day during Global Islamic Finance Forum, and you were one of 4 winners. So I'm curious on how this accelerator program helped you translate your mission into investor and market language.
Yes, what we look at it is like during this 3 intense week, even though it's from 4 p.m. to 9 plus p.m., it's very intense. And the MIFC invited all those speakers are very knowledgeable in their subject matter experts. Both myself and my co-founders, we really learn a lot. And we from that knowledge, we actually work on our pitch deck and also on the for example, like the Shariah document and so on. So we really benefited very much, on this MIFC GIC challenge. And I hope that, next year, more startup, can apply to join this for the 2026 MIFC GIC challenge.
Yeah. And Rosalina, from your perspective, how important is it for organizations like MIFC to be continuing this momentum of supporting innovation in the ecosystem, especially in Islamic finance?
Yes. So Malaysia, as everybody knows, we are or have been the market leader for Islamic finance, Islamic economy for more than 20, 30 years. So the next level to up our game is in innovation, because the whole world is moving towards adoption and integration of digital. So how can we make Malaysia, at least the Southeast Asia hub in terms of ecosystem build? And I think it's key that government agencies, I applaud SCA and as well as Bank Negara in support of creating accelerators and program initiatives in support in galvanizing ecosystems, not just on the supply side, which is where our fintech is, but also on the demand side for the integration, because that's where you need our own startup to scale. And I always say this, if we don't help ourselves in terms of our startups, who else will? And through the partnerships and in collaboration, and this is the call to action for KOHA Islamic Digital today, is we need that support from the ecosystems. We need the support from Takaful operators, from legal firms, from asset management companies who see the value in our dashboard in being able to integrate to their own agency force or their own work sales force through the app that we have created, the financial screening, and see how we could do product bundling, not just for inheritance, but you look at Takaful, you look at fund management, wealth management. The permutations are many. It's seeing how we want to cut and paste it into something that was in it for you, was in it for me, and the value proposition that we can create together as an ecosystem.
Makes sense. And, shout out to any ecosystem players or corporates looking for those kind of partnerships. KOHA Islamic Digital sounds like they're ready to have a conversation with you, which will probably shout out where they can find KOHA Islamic Digital towards the end of the video. So stay tuned on that. And Peter, partnerships and corporate backers are very important, but I want to touch a bit on the kinship that you experienced throughout the program. What difference did it make learning alongside 28 other ventures in terms of your development in those 3 weeks?
Yeah, first of all is that during these 3 weeks, we learned, we realized that, out of the 29, they are, I think around 17 is from overseas.
Yeah.
So we actually, beside Malaysia, we also work together, understand the problem statements, At the same time, we also work with hear their feedbacks, from overseas as well. Some of them are from UK and South Africa, if I'm not mistaken. There are many of them. So thanks to this platform, MIFC GIC platform, we're able to understand the other part of the Malaysia, whereby what is the pain statements they are experiencing.
If I can also add, so it's kudos to the Bank Negara team in being able to create a platform that not only incentivizes local ecosystems, but you also encourage, foreign startups to also be part of our fintech to see whether, their solutions could possibly address our problem statements, and also to have a lens of the problem statements that in other countries to scale our startups to also abroad. So it's a two-way thing, and the MIFC have done an amazing job in propagating this forward.
Thanks. And what's next? Right?
next?
New jurisdictions, new features, new partnerships.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Right before Demo Day, I think you've sealed an amazing partnership with the Malaysian Takaful Association.
Yes, yes.
But for a company or startup that has so much momentum, what are you shooting for next?
Okay, I myself would like to work with more Shariah lawyers for all over Malaysia, the states, and also that now we have this Takaful operators is working, Malaysia Takaful Association is working with us. So then in this case that we want the Shariah lawyers, to become a part of the ecosystem as well. Not only that, we hope that we can also work with trustee companies who embrace digital, and the next one will be this Islamic bank or digital bank, to go through this ecosystem of wealth management.
Right. And Ruslina, keen to get your thoughts on this. Can Islamic inheritance tech evolve into an asset class by itself? It seems to be a very under the radar part of fintech.
Yes. I think that's a spot on question. And I personally believe that it is a living ecosystem on its own. I think the beauty about KOHA is, can you imagine, being able to record a love note to your future chuchu, which you may never ever meet, but because of the legacy that you left behind, you are able to attach your recording of love into a vault that is then provided to him or her as they are slowly becoming a responsible individual. So it's that maintaining of harmony and kinship that we want to try to propagate, and ultimately, of course, the disputes for assets in the event it ever happens. And I think that vault is very, very key in creating that value proposition and differentiation to what KOHA brings to the table.
What do you think, Peter?
Yes, to me is that KOHA, what we wanted to do is that preserve family harmony. So why we want to do this is because that just imagine that a partridge leave a love video, not only to the children, it can actually play the family values. The partridge want to say family values to their grandchildren or great-grandchildren. So this thing will continue past legacy from one generation to another generation. This is what we intend to do in KOHA. We want to preserve this, store into this digital world, and the next generation can always replay that the partridge of the family can see that what is the family values that they want to, the partridge want to pass on, and want their grandchildren or great-grandchildren to follow that values.
Right. And if legacy is an act of faith, what's one anecdote that captures KOHA's purpose for you?
For me, it's preserve family harmony. That is the most important. So at the end of the day, it's like money, or wealth you can leave behind, but to unite all the family members, that is the precious one.
So, what inspired KOHA Islamic Digital to join the MIFC Global Impact Challenge? What went through your minds?
First of all, I have to thank you, Puan Ruslina. She is the one who actually mentioned to us that how good of this MIFC Global Impact Challenge. And with what she said to us, then immediately we just answered the call and just write in the application, and the rest is history.
And Ruslina, why did you encourage them so heavily to do this?
Being able to be shortlisted in Bank Negara's Impact Challenge, it would be phenomenal, because you can create your own brand next to the logo of Bank Negara, because you have MIFC Impact Challenge. And this year, who was the one who actually gave the award to you, Peter?
PMX.
Himself. And only regulators will be able to bring that value to you, right? The limelight, the accessibility, the connectivity to industry. I think the recognition alone is a global, it's like winning a Grammy Award.
Yeah.
And through that award, it opens up tremendous opportunities, because other government agencies in other countries will recognize your commitment and understand what you can offer, and the doors will be aplenty in terms of scaling.
Totally
Future growth.
understand. And
Yes.
Peter, how much did it mean to you having received that award by the Prime Minister himself?
Yeah, we are very honored. We are very honored. In fact, that thank you to Bank Negara Malaysia, thank you to MIFC. Thank you to ASB. Have all these facilities, getting all the best speakers and moderator. To guide us in this program, and we are very honored and very glad that we participate this program.
Yeah, so it's worth the 4 p.m., 9 p.m. work days.
More than 9:30 p.m.
Yeah. So all the startups out there, do take the opportunity to join the MIFC Impact Challenge when it opens next year. I think it's tremendous in being able to further scale and showcase what you can offer, and also the integration that you can receive within the Malaysian ecosystem. I think it's phenomenal.
Cool. And before we end this conversation, I would like to end it with two questions, one for Ruslina and one for Peter. So Ruslina, as a strategic advisor, I'm going to ask you how people can support KOHA, where can they find KOHA, and what's KOHA's pitch? You have about 30 seconds to do this.
Okay, so you can find us, click on the web link. I hope there will be a web link for us to view. And
We'll
also
probably
click,
make sure.
for partnerships and collaborations, we're open to share our ideas. Let's see how we can possibly look at core product bundling in whatever products or services that you offer, and see how we can create blue oceans together. And I think the time is now, as people are slowly embracing the benefits of what digital can do, not just for their company, but society at home. So we'd love to work with government agencies, maybe the likes of
One name.
Matrade.
You,
Yeah.
KOHA Islamic Digital wants to work with you. Let's get that going on. How can
Yes.
what do you want to work with Matrade with?
Okay, so under Matrade, they've got few government organizations within their ambit. Being able to crystallize opportunities in cross-selling products and services, and scale for opportunities, I think it's huge for us.
Right. So people in Matrade, reach out, or leave a comment, or Ruslina, just LinkedIn them.
Yes, because I know
If you see this.
yes, because there's a specific department that actually looks at collaborations for GCC countries as well, economic opportunities. So being able to showcase or profile KOHA Islamic Digital at those platforms, whether is it Saudi Arabia, whether is it UAE, in looking at MOUs would be phenomenal for us as a startup.
Yep. So KOHA's going on that trade mission. And Peter, I guess the question I have for you is, what's your one wish for humanity and the world, since we live in such turbulent times and you're building for the future? What's that statement from you? What's your wish for the world?
My one statement is that preserve family harmony, because love, boundless love, love make us peace, so world peace.
All right. Thanks, Peter. Thanks, Ruslina. This has been an amazing conversation with KOHA Islamic Digital. Thank you so much for your time. And yeah, signing off.
Thank you.
Thank you.